All right, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's product training with Blue Triangle. Today we're going to talk about the Marketing Insights module. Now, one of the first things I'd like to mention up front is the fact it's called Marketing Insights shouldn't exclude anyone from the conversation. There's really plenty of great information, more than just marketing teams can get from this module. All right, so there are 4 pages in the Marketing Insights module, and what we're going to do is walk through each of those here in just a few minutes, and we'll show you how each of them works and when you might be able to use them. All right, so my name is Mark, and I'm the support manager here at Blue Triangle, and I do these trainings each week about a variety of topics related to web performance, analytics, and ultimately how to use the Blue Triangle portal to solve problems. So let's go ahead and get started with today's training. So for the agenda today, like I mentioned, we're going to walk through each of the pages in the Marketing Insights module and just talk about what the features and functionality of the page are and how to use it. So that'll be the marketing overview, the My Campaigns dashboard, the customer journey analysis, which I think you'll find yourself most interested by and where I think most of you are going to spend your time primarily, but we'll also finish with the bottom of the funnel analysis. So if you don't know what that means, we'll be walking through that page and how to set up one of these bottom of the funnel analysis as well. And last thing is, if you have any questions during the session, do put them into the chat or the questions window, and I'll be happy to answer those at the end. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the Blue Triangle portal. And here we are on the Marketing Insights, the overview dashboard. So you can get here in the menu under Marketing Insights. We have the marketing overview, which is where we are now, the My Campaigns, the customer journey analysis, as well as the brand customer journey analysis, and the bottom of the sales funnel analysis. So we're going to start with the marketing overview. And so just at a high level, this is a dashboard, and right now we're looking at the last 6 hours. We have our auto refresh rate set to 5 minutes. You can turn that off. You can set it to 2 minutes or extend it out. One of the great things you can do with this page, I'll point out, is a custom date selection. Now, this is something new we've added to the dashboards in our portal recently. So any dashboard in Blue Triangle now, you're able to click this button to set a custom date, and that'll disable the auto refresh, and that'll open up the filters menu with the time period, and you'll be able to choose a custom date range. Otherwise, you can choose any of the available look back windows here. All right, so as far as what we're looking at on the screen, there's a variety of widgets here. Of course, site-wide totals up at the top. These are just a handful of marketing and business related metrics like bounce rate, exit rate, revenue, sessions and page views, the average page views per session, performance, and conversion rate. So this is a nice widget to have just sitting up at the top of your screen as a high level overview, right? Now, over below that to the left, this is your top 4 campaigns. Of course, anything that isn't a campaign is going to fall into this unassigned bucket. So each of these cards has basically the same information that I just mentioned. We see bounce and exit rate, as well as page speed performance, orders, conversion rate, and revenue down at the bottom. So that gives you a glance at your top 4 campaigns. Now, over to the right, our campaigns over time widget. This takes these top campaigns and puts them on a variety of graphs, and you can toggle between each one, revenue, orders, conversion rate, for example, and you'll see the same data in a graph below. So moving down the screen, we have our traffic source and traffic medium breakdowns. You can see where's the traffic on your site coming from, and in what way are they getting to your site, whether it's an organic search, paid search, email or a social ad. And then at the bottom, there's revenue, conversion rates, and sessions by device. So this gives you a look at how's the business performing broken out by device, desktop, mobile, and tablet. So with all that said, you can actually drill into more specific information here inside of the filter options. So you would be able to go in and change any of these filters. Maybe you want to only look at new visitors instead of all traffic, or maybe you want to look at data for a particular traffic segment, for example. So all these filters are available on the screen as well. So that's the marketing overview. The next thing we're going to talk about is the My Campaigns dashboard. So I have it pulled up here in another tab, and again, you can get there. It's under Marketing Insights. It's the second one in the list, the My Campaigns. And if it's the first time you've been to this screen, it's going to prompt you to create a campaign dashboard. So we're going to click that, and I'll show you how to set one of these up. So this is actually going to take us over to the customer journey analysis, and it's going to take us to the campaigns tab, which lists out all of the campaigns that are currently active. Right now it's ordered by sessions. Of course, all traffic is, you can see that above, and no campaign assigned is the majority of the traffic, but then you have each of your campaigns down here as well. So what you can do to create a My Campaigns dashboard is just check these boxes over here to the left, and you're going to save the campaigns to the dashboard. So we're going to call this Demo Campaigns dashboard. You can also choose some other configuration items like the refresh rate and the look back window, but you'll be able to change that once you get to the dashboard. So we're going to hit save, and now you can go to this button to the right, enables, and you can go to My Campaigns dashboard. And here we have it listed, the Demo Campaigns dashboard that we just created. Now, if you click that, what you're going to get is one of these cards for each of the campaigns that you selected. So in the marketing overview, we got one of these cards that showed us bounce and exit rate and performance, as well as page views and sessions, and then these business metrics down below. And so this is the same information as that. So with this dashboard, you're able to monitor campaigns in real time. Right now we're looking at an auto refresh rate of 5 minutes. You can change the look back window to any of these options as well. So you can also expand these widgets to make them a little more legible, something like that. So that's what you get with the My Campaigns dashboard. As always, we have our filter options over here. You're able to choose any kind of filtering. Maybe you want to look at a particular traffic segment or a particular traffic medium, for example. You're able to get that information as well. But it's also great just as a high-level dashboard. You can just stick this up on a screen and just watch as the time goes by how each of these campaigns is performing. Now you'll notice, there's red, orange, or amber, and green. Obviously, red is not good. Orange is, kind of a warning, and green is good. So, for example, in this campaign over here in the top right, our exit rate is very high. It's at about 95%, and that's why you're seeing this red line here. It looks like the users aren't bouncing, but they are abandoning their session after a number of views. So we'll get into a little more of analyzing these numbers as we get into the customer journey. So let's actually go over there right now. and get started on the customer journey. So we've covered now the marketing overview and the My Campaigns. So let's jump over to the customer journey analysis. So here we are on the Campaigns tab. We've been here before when we created our My Campaigns dashboard. We chose each of these campaigns that we wanted to put in our dashboard. So we're going to go into this screen in a little more detail. So the first thing I'm going to point out is you can click each of these rows and look at all of the landing pages for that campaign, as well as loads of associated metrics. So for example, sessions and page views, we have bounce and exit rate, the performance for that particular page, as well as orders, conversion rate, and revenue. So you're able to see this information for each campaign in the table. So I'm going to look at the all traffic campaign. So this just represents all traffic on the site, regardless of campaign. I find this is most interesting, especially for the non-marketing folks in the room to look at. So here we can see the product detail page was the most common landing page for all of the traffic on our site. And right now we're looking at one day. So if I wanted to say, for example, which landing page generated the most revenue. So I could just go over here to the right and click on this column a couple times to filter it down. And here we can see the home page generated, the home page is the landing page, generated the most revenue. So that's just at a quick glance, something that some insights that we can get here. All right, so I'm going to actually just jump right over to our path flow because I think that's where the most interesting details are going to be. Taking a step back here, this is a real-time customer journey analysis. So other platforms, Google Analytics and others, for example, they'll take 12 to 72 hours to get data into the platform. So whereas Blue Triangle, you can get down to 60-minute refresh, down to 5 minutes or even 2 minutes by request. So this allows marketing to start campaigns in the beginning of the week and actually make changes in flight as you see the performance of these campaigns in real time. So that's an important note. And ultimately what we're doing with the customer journey analysis is we want to identify where is the friction in the sales process, right? So I'm going to change our landing page to the home page. I'm going to click apply here. So this is going to show us all of the paths on the site starting on the home page. One of the most important things you want to look at as you're looking through these paths is for any red or orange bars. So for each of these cards, just zoom in a notch here. For each of these cards, the bar on the left is exits and the bar on the right is performance. If you ever see a red or orange bar, that may be something to investigate. Now, in some cases, performance is also suffering when you see a high exit rate. For example, if we look at the PDP page here, for this particular path, 100% of users that reached this page abandoned their session. And that may have been because of poorly performing page. Here we're looking at a 4.5 second page load time. They're only viewing 1.5 pages per session here. And of course, 0 users are continuing their session on the site. So this is these red and orange bars on the left are really important to look out for. So that's one scenario. Now another scenario is when you're seeing a high exit rate, but performance is green. Performance is not a problem. So in this case, users are getting the information quickly, but they're still exiting. So what could this be? It could be a broken element on the page. Maybe the add to cart button isn't working, so they're abandoning the site. Or maybe the wrong content is being displayed on the page. There's something wrong with the images on the page. Or maybe it's just a common page where users leave the site. For example, the purchase confirmation page would fall into that category, or something like that. So those are things to look out for. So one of the things I pointed out is the red and orange bars here to the left. Those are very important to look out for. Another thing that's really important to look out for is if we zoom out and scroll to the right, what we're going to do is click on this green card, which represents the conversion page. So if you click that, that's going to show all of the pages or steps that it took to convert at step 10 in this case. And it looks like that is the step with the most revenue. So ultimately, these are the critical pages affecting your business. And this is where you want to focus your efforts on as far as performance improvements and marketing and getting your users through this funnel. Now, another great thing I'm going to point out here is if we look over at the PDP virtual turn page here, I'm going to just zoom in again on this particular card. So we can see there's a high exit rate here. Now, I just mentioned a few possibilities, but how do we drill in for more information? So this blue triangle icon in the top left allows you to drill into other areas of Blue Triangle that might have this information. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the bounce and exit analysis page. So just quickly, I'll point out the difference between bounces and exits. A bounce is when a user visits the site one page and then leaves. Then an exit is when a user abandons their session after multiple page views. So what you want to look out for in the bounce and exit analysis is if we just focus on the exit rate, is there any spikes in this graph? Or in this case, we can see that it seems like a systemic issue where this particular page, the product detail page, just has a high exit rate. Now, we can also overlay performance on this graph as well. So if there was a spike, was it due to performance? So that's one place you can look. Another place you can look is the JavaScript errors page. Is there a functional problem on the page? Maybe there's CSP violations. Maybe marketing added a new tag to the site that was not approved by the security team, and those CSP violations are causing the content not to work. So you can find that information out inside of the JavaScript errors page. One more page that would be great to investigate, for example, maybe it's a performance problem. In this case, the product detail page, the regular page load, everyone is exiting in this particular path, and it may be due to performance. So one of the things you can do is drill into the aggregate waterfall and investigate what content files or domains are loading slowly that may be contributing to performance degradation. So here's another cool thing I'll show you. Right now we're looking at the home page as the landing page. Now what we can do is apply any of the filter options in Blue Triangle to this set of data. So you're able to really slice and dice the data for your specific needs. So you can go in and set an anchored start time or a rolling start time. Maybe you want to anchor the start time when a particular campaign started, for example. Or you can just have this start time rolling for whatever the look back period is. You can choose obviously the campaign. You can choose a particular traffic medium. For example, maybe you are only interested in paid search or email. An A/B segment, an A/B testing segment. Another really great one is visitor type. So we can look at only new visitors or only returning visitors. So in this case, let's see what new visitors are doing. So I'm going to choose new visitors and hit apply filters. And so here we get a totally different set of data. In this case, we can still see the product detail page is one that's problematic. And so that would be something we should look into. So another great thing I want to point out is, so we've been looking at everything from the perspective of a landing page. So that's the home page. Now, what if we change that to the focal page view? So what this does is it allows you to see where's the traffic to the home page coming from. So is it external to the site? Maybe it's the confirmation page. Maybe their users are making multiple orders in the same session. So these are all things to keep in mind. So there's really loads of information you can get from this page, and I only introduced a few of the pieces of functionality this page has to offer, but I think that should give you a good starting place to go in here yourself and see what insights you can get from this page. All right, so I know we spent a lot of time on the customer journey and analysis, but I think that's a good one to really take a deep dive on because of how powerful it really is. All right, so I'm going to move on now to the bottom of the funnel analysis. So I'm over here, again, I'll point out in the menu over here under Marketing Insights, the bottom of the sales funnel. What we're doing here is we're trying to identify where the friction is in the bottom of the sales funnel. So what you can do is create a bottom of the funnel configuration, and you can do that down here in the other section, the bottom of the sales funnel configuration. You can also just search for it, bottom of the sales funnel. And so what you're going to do is create a path. I won't go through this full process, but I can show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you the typical checkout process. So what you're going to do is name the step, and you're able to apply any page groups or page names to that particular step. So we have our add to bag, we have our my bag for the view cart, checkout, payment, review, and ultimately order confirmation. It's important to always include the order confirmation page. This way, the bottom of the funnel conversion rate analysis is going to be accurate. And we do have a limit of 8 steps, but that should be, I think that should be plenty for most of your sites. So once you have this path configured, you can go back over to the bottom of the sales funnel analysis page, and I'm going to choose the typical checkout process. So what you can see here is the conversion rate of users that made it to the add to cart page and went to the view cart page. So that would be an add to cart conversion. So you're able to see the conversions for each step in the bottom of the funnel and see, where's the friction. For example, it looks like getting the users from the add to cart to the view cart is where we're not doing so great as far as conversions. Now we also have the total funnel conversion down here at the bottom, and that gives you an idea of all the people that started on the add to cart, how many of them ultimately converted down below. There's some more cool things you can do with this page that I won't get into in this training today, but one of them is you can add a comparison and say, compare one time period to another. You can compare new visitors versus returning visitors and see how that user behavior is different, and much more. Anything you can think of with the filter options here. All right, so I think that's all I had to share with you guys today about the Marketing Insights module. I hope you learned a lot more about this module and what it can do and what kind of insights you can get from it. So with that, I'm going to pause now and check the chat and the questions and see if there's anything I can help answer for you guys.
All right, so I don't see any questions today, but that's okay. Thank you everyone for your time. And if you do have any questions, we're happy to speak with you offline. So feel free to reach out to us anytime. You can use any of the emails listed here, course, support is support@bluetriangle.com. And you can also submit a request or a question in our help center at help.bluetriangle.com. For more information about Blue Triangle product training, like how to watch some of our previous sessions or how to register for upcoming ones, be sure to check out our help center. Again, that's help.bluetriangle.com. And when you're there, just click the big button for product training. All right, guys, thanks again for your time, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.